Allah, and He alone is the mighty provider. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لما تقولون ما لا تفعلون. Translated, it says, "O you who believe, why do you say that which you do not? كبرت مقتا عند الله أن تقولوا ما لا تفعلون." It is grievous and disliked with Allah that you say that which you do not. إن الله يحب الذين يقاتلون في سبيل الله صفا كأنهم بنيان مرصوص. Truly, Allah loves those who struggle in His cause as a wall, as if they were a solid, cemented structure. Alhamdulillah, we've been blessed with this day, and this is the Eid al-Adha. And we have millions and millions of people who are in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, as they do every year, following what we have in the Quran says, إِنَّ أَوَّلَ بَيْتٍ وُضِيَ لِلنَّاسِ لَلَّذِي بِبَكَّةَ مُبَارَكًا وَهُدًى لِلْعَالَمِينَ. That this house, the first house appointed for men, is at Mecca, full of blessings and guidance for all humanity. And I was saying earlier in the Eid talk that I have been corrected, so they thought, telling me that the Kaaba wasn't the first house built for worship. And my response to those persons is that the Kaaba that Prophet Ibrahim and his son Ishmael built was the first house of worship for one God. There were other houses of worship that were built, but they were worshiping many gods, different temples. And so there are people who think they corrected us in our religion, but they really don't know their religion. They don't know the religion. The Kaaba was the first house built for the worship of one God. Any house before it, they worshiped several deities. This is historical truth. And it says that in that, فِيهَا آيَاتٌ بَيِّنَاتٌ, that there are many clear signs. مَقَامُ إِبْرَاهِيمَ, the standing place of Abraham. وَمَنْ دَخَلَهُ كَانَ آمِنًا, and whoever enters that place, he gets security of peace. وَلِلَّهِ, and for Allah, عَلَى النَّاسِ, mankind is required, hijjul bayt, that it is a requirement for the human being to make Hajj at least once in a lifetime, if he is able to and can afford the trip. Our religion has the largest gathering of worship for God in the entire world and the history of the world. That's a miracle in and of itself. Now there's over there, they say, I heard a report, 2 million. It's usually 3 to 5 million. I've made Hajj many, many times. Okay, and they always play the numbers down. And I think too often it's because of envy and jealousy. And inshallah, we're going to take next year about 1,000 to 2,000 people from this community with us to make Hajj next year. And inshallah, we will, when we're there, we will explain the rites and the rituals every day that the person is undergoing so that they have a greater understanding of this religion. And why is the Hajj so important? You know the United Nations, you know the UN? The UN came about because they were inspired by the Hajj. I'm telling you. They didn't just come off the top of my head. Respect for nations, so they say. And each nation has its autonomy, its right to rule and govern itself. That has come from the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and observing the Hajj of the Muslims. Yes. And the Hajj holds the picture that one day in the future, mankind will be governed not by a police force, not by an army or navy. It'll be just like in the lifetime of Prophet Muhammad. Yes, he had an army, but before there were wars, there was no police in the Muhammad's community. I'm telling you this. Some of you don't know this. When he was in charge with his followers, there was no policeman among them. You know why? It's because their conscience was raised so much until the policeman was raised up inside each individual member. This is what we mean when we say Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Alaikum means obligation. That's what alaikum means. So obligation, alaikum, salam, each individual is obligated to guarantee the peace. We say statements, we don't understand the depth of this understanding. So those companions of Muhammad the Prophet, they understood that. That each one of them were required to guarantee that the Ummah would have its peace. Therefore, you don't need a policeman. But nowadays, with drugs, with corruption, with indecency, the policeman within each individual is handcuffed. Yes. So we need this great teaching. And it says, Fihi, in it, ayatun bayinatun, a very clear sign. And I, inshallah, I'm doing the best that I can to give you these clear signs. Muhammad the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he is an example for all people. He's a rahmatul alameen. He's the mercy for all of the worlds. And in the last scripture, sacred scripture of the Holy Quran, this is what it says. And this language needs to be studied. When we read the Quran, we need to understand how to relate it. How do we apply the Quran? Our mind has to be in a certain situation to see that Allah sent Muhammad the Prophet to do what? To liberate community life. You see? Ummah. To liberate community life. He was already in Mecca. It was already a city. You see? There were people already there. They had tribes and leadership. You see? But what was the problem? There was no respect for the community life. It was like modern day gangs. This tribe, you had to pay a tariff to come in this section. That tribe, you had to pay a tariff to go into that section. It was tribal life. So it was Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that brought enough dignity so that the community could see itself and not feel oppressed, not feel rejected. Muhammad the Prophet brought that sallallahu alaihi wasallam to the people at his time. Yes. And Muhammad the Prophet, he brought this in a way for us to understand something. And any people that cannot realize progress, it is because they have not answered the inner calling that they have. Okay? And when you do not answer this inner calling that everybody has, then you become a victim to the world. This is what's going on. They couldn't compete with other nations because they weren't answering the excellence that Allah created in them. And they were people who didn't even have interest. with their own potential in terms of developing, in terms of recognizing and realizing their inner life and their inner aim. So Muhammad, he's given credit for this. If he did that in that lifetime, 1400 years ago, if we follow his life, his sunnah, no matter where you find yourself in modern time, you can bring about the same transition and development for human life in this time as was done in this time. This is the great benefit of Muhammad the Prophet. He is the liberator of community life. Alhamdulillah. Now I want to say this, inshallah. Allah the Almighty, in speaking to those who disbelieve, in the Quran it says, Nasir, whoever forgets Allah, then Allah forgets them. This is your Quran. Now I know most people who have a car, they will not walk out of the house and forget their keys. If they do, we can't get in the car. You know what I'm telling you. And myself, I remember one time I was so excited to come to the Masjid that I left the house without my keys. So I didn't have my keys to get in my car, and then I didn't have my keys to get back in the Masjid. I'm just giving you a little humor so you can understand something. Allah says there are people who forget Him, and therefore He forgets them. Look, if I forget my keys, I can't benefit from them because I can't get into my car. I can't get into the house. These are small things. Imagine the bigger thing. People who do not think about their Creator all day long with no thought of remembering Allah. What are they doing? They are locking themselves out of their own internal resources. You remember Allah, Allah remembers you. This is I know this is the truth. Allahu Akbar. Let me say this to you in our religion. Before we make our prayer, before we read Quran, what do we say? A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Right? I seek Allah against the rejected Satan. You say that before you read the Quran. You say that before you make your Salat. Why do you say that? Why do I say that and I'm going to read the Quran? The Quran is a perfect book. Why do I have to say I seek refuge with Allah and I'm going to read a perfect book? You see? Would you like to know why? It's because the book is going to tell you stories of people who are disbelievers. And if you are not careful, you'll pick up maybe the habit of the disbeliever. So you're seeking refuge and protection from the trouble that Scripture has recorded so that you will not bring it in your life. I'll make it very plain to you. You live in America right now. And most of my people were born in this country, raised Christians. Okay? And we were taught that God was 3 in 1. This is what we were taught. Father, Son, Holy Ghost. So if you say God to a Muslim, God is Allah, right? It's one. But if you bring a Christian in here and you say God, you'll say, what is God? They'll tell you one, right? But if you question them, explain to me this one God, what they're going to tell you? Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Now, if you were raised in this country and you were taught that teachings is still in your subconscious mind. I'm bringing this to your attention. And if you can see that still in your subconscious mind, then there are other things in this culture that have been put in us. I'm talking mainly us before we were Muslims. So we're seeking refuge against Satan from those things that he put in us when we were 8 years old, 10 years old, 13 years old, that still reside in the subconscious mind. I hope I'm making that clear. So you're not seeking refuge from the Quran. You're seeking refuge from the corruption of religion that has been given to you. This book is powerful. It's deep. Very deep. And I'm going to say this to you so you can understand even more. Hajj is on what day? Isn't it the 9th day? It's called Arafat. Arafat is the 9th day. If you miss Arafat and you in Hajj, you there for 10 days, but you miss Arafat, you have missed the Hajj. I'm telling you, in case you don't know that. Who is saying that? Muhammad the Prophet. Okay? Now let me say this to you. If you miss 9 days and you only met Arafat, the Prophet ﷺ says you made the Hajj. So the Hajj is 1 day. It's the 9th. Now you probably don't understand what the deep meaning of that is. Here's the depth of it. The human being is born in the 9th month of pregnancy. Am I right or wrong? Yes. So Arafat is a sign of the 9th day that you should have been born on Arafat for a second birth in your mind. Arafat, its root word is Arafat. Arafat means to know, means to realize. You see? That's what it means. So you're there, you're on the mountain, this is the 9th day, and just like your physical body was born in the 9th month, you are to be born now, mentally. And what did Muhammad the Prophet say? He said, those who made Arafat, and those who made the Hajj only for Allah's pleasure, and kept all of the rituals, he said, you are as though you are born again as a new baby all over again. That's his teaching. Allahu Akbar. Now let me tell you this. When you read the Quran, I'm not playing. If you don't understand what I'm saying, I'm going too fast. They'll have CDs, you get the CD. If you don't have money, you can get it for free. And listen to it again. Maybe sometimes you hear the second time, you get more insight. When you read your Quran, every surah begins with Bismillah. Every surah, except the 9th surah. The 9th surah does not begin with Bismillah.